As promised, here's the Warlock Destruction Guide for the current Dazar'Alar raid. These will be your talents you can use. Most people like to use reverse entropy. Your spells have a chance to grant you 15% haste for 8 seconds. I, however, like Shadow Burn on high movement fights, but for the sake of the target dummy, since we're not moving, I'm going to switch to reverse entropy. You can use Burning Rush or Dark Pact if you want, depending on the fight. If there's something that requires you to soak, uh, you could use this over Burning Rush. I feel Dark Pact is more valuable in that way, but when you need high movement or intensive movement, Burning Rush will be your go-to. Cataclysm will be your go-to spell in all things. It doesn't really matter what's going on there. Demonic Circle is really great in this. Like, let's say for an example, before the fight, if you place this somewhere to the right or to the left of the boss and you know something is going to hit the ground where you're standing, you can easily just use the other part of it for the Demonic Circle teleport, and instead of running, you can use that and move right back to going right back to your DPS. Up next, you have two choices here: Roaring Blaze or Grimoire Supremacy. Right now, I believe Grimoire of Supremacy is really, really great because just like in older days, Destruction was all about upfront burst, nasty damage in your face, and I believe Grimoire Supremacy delivers that. Now, if you're going to have a longer fight, there's steady targets where you can put Havoc, your Immolate, or if you choose to use Cataclysm to hit both at once, and you use your two Conflagrates to make Roaring Blaze strong, that is also an option, especially over the long two target cleave fights. I would go Roaring Blaze, just in my honest opinion, because you don't really have to do anything or meet a certain criteria or be in a window of damage like you would with Grimoire Supremacy. Not saying that this is bad. Next up will be Dark Soul Instability. Single target fights, very, very strong. Even though it only lasts for 20 seconds, this combined with your Infernal, it's just really, really freaking strong. I recommend it because this critical strike chance not only give you more embers or soul shards, we call them today. They also buff your Chaos Bolt because Chaos Bolt is based off how much crit damage you can do, and so on. Now, let's get into the specialization really quick. Here's some things that we need to look at, right? We need to look at the Azurite pieces. So, on my helmet, I had the Bursting Flare. Now, in my opinion, right now, testing, just doing the numbers, Bursting Flare is really, really great because Mastery at this point increases all your damage. It's like a pure damage increase across the board. So of course, I will go with Bursting Flare. Now, what I want to do, I want to stack two of these just because maintaining that buff. You see, maintaining that buff means I get to keep that amount of damage the whole time. Now, depending on how much mastery I get from stacking the two, you can see it here easily. Just 48 times 5, and you will see what you'll get from there. 240 mastery roughly, not bad. It'll get you some points. As you can see on my shoulders, 400 item level piece. I went with Chaotic Inferno. The other option I had was Rolling Havoc. Now, don't get me wrong here. Rolling Havoc is really, really good, especially on the second boss in here. Each time your spells duplicate to a Havoc target, gain 141 intellect for 15 seconds. This effect stacks. That is huge. But seeing as how limited you are during that time for Rolling Havoc, let's say for an example, if you were to, Havoc one target, put Cataclysm up on the next target, That's putting, so Immolate's going to be on both targets, of course. So that's one spell. You double conflagrate if you have it. You Chaos Bolt if you have the 4 shards. Let me just tell you how huge that is. It's going to make it seem as if you have a trinket that's giving you a damage boost. So on these cleave fights, rolling Havoc is very, very strong. Now, I went with Chaotic Inferno due to the fact that Chaos Bolt is going to go ahead already get 54 damage. And you get the 25% chance to make your Incinerate instant. Now, instant Incinerate is more DPS due to the fact that you're not casting at 1.2 second cast time as I am. Of course, Crashing Chaos, Summoning Inferno increases the damage of the next 8 Chaos Bolts by 2,724. Now, this talent here, just using it, I don't recommend stacking Crashing Chaos due to the fact that, now, before I say this, I can't use all 8 before my Inferno is gone. You see what I'm saying? So I feel as if stacking that would be a waste. It's better to stack the Conflagrate talent from the other one. But I have to do more testing on that. And since I like to test on my own and look at other people's work to see what they're saying and stuff like that, I just want to be able to test it before I really say that's the way to go. My third piece, of course, I put on Rolling Havoc. It's good to have all 3, right? Just to make sure I have these different traits for all these different fights. Every different fight, you see? So I just want to be prepared and not have to leave out of the raid, change my trade or whatever. So I just went with all 3 different ones here. Now, for what all you guys been waiting on here, you're probably looking for your opening rotation. For most DPS spec, the opening rotation is how you're going to maximize your damage and where it falls off to. For Destro and this specialization that we have here, right here with these talents, we already know what's about to happen here. We're about to hit this target dummy with the boom, because we're going to start off with Cataclysm, then we're going to go with Summon Infernal. From there, we're going to use our Dark Soul Instability, both our Conflagrates, and then we're going to use Chaos Bolts 2 times, and we're going to filler with Incinerate and keep our Immolate up to maintain the highest amount of burst potential as we can. So, with that being said, I'm going to start this off with the very, 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 very hard-hitting Cataclysm when there's a lot of freaking ass. And I'm going to make sure I only hit this one target dummy because I don't want to skew the numbers and make it seem like I'm just amazing when I'm an average player who just loves to do the math of doing this. So here we go. I'm going to start off with Cataclysm, Summon Inferno, Dark Soul, Conflagrate, Chaos Bolt twice, Instant Incinerate, gotta love those. I'm just gonna Chaos Bolt on cooldown here. Every time I see a Chaos Bolt up, I'm going to hit for it. Every single time. My numbers are getting screwed right now because of the Infernal. It's hitting the other targets. I hate that, but it is what it is. Now, it's time to reset. You want to reset your Immolate with Cataclysm. If Cataclysm is off cooldown, make sure you use some trackers for that so you can get it every time. I recommend weak R's to make sure you track that. And basically, you know, that's basically the opener. From there, you just do everything from the top, and you may not get the DPS you desire right now due to where your stats are. I'm roughly, well, that's buffed up. 25% haste, that's a lot of freaking haste, right? But, like I'm saying here, really, haste is a very strong stat for destruction. Crit is still a very strong stat for destruction because that's how you get your embers. And mastery is still a very strong stat for destruction. So, in my honest opinion, And I always say this with the 15% base haste. I always like to see haste go to 15%. Now, with haste going to 15%, it's going to make sure your incinerate casts are going to be faster, your immolate and your chaos bolts. You can never have enough haste, but at least get to 15. You know, mastery. As you can read here, your spells deal 17.3% increased damage plus a random amount of 17.3 additional increased damage, and you take reduced damage. So, with that being said, if you're in a raid and there's a lot of damage going on, instead of going versatility, well, versatility still will be great. Your mastery gives you protection and additional damage. Now, one of the things about it, it kind of splits how much damage you get every 2% mastery. So every 2% mastery, you're going to get a 1% static damage buff from that. You see what I'm saying? And an example of this is, let's say I'll put up immolate and I'm going to conflagrate. You know, remember I have the buff for the mastery right here, right? So it went up. And now you see it went up 2%. Now I'm at 18. And then I can keep stacking that. As long as I have immolate and I use conflagrate. It's a buff that doesn't go away as long as you're doing your rotation correctly. And like it said, it stacks 5 times. So I'm waiting on conflagrate once more. You know, just to show you guys what mastery will do for you. Up to 40 mastery from bursting flare and up to 42% mastery with that. Now you're doing 20% damage. Do you understand where I'm going with this? You're doing 20% extra damage. So mastery will always be great because it buffs your chaos bolt by percentage and it bursts your other spells. So mastery is still strong. So I will put 15% haste. I will go at least 15% critical and the rest mastery, or I'll just say critical strike. It's almost equal to mastery, but I believe mastery is stronger in my opinion. Now, I haven't used Simulation Craft to look at this, so this is still me, you know, doing the guesswork. And to elaborate further on what I was talking about with the conflag giving us mastery, the reason the mastery was rising was because of bursting flare, and this is the reason why I believe it's one of the stronger things, especially with how much damage you get going towards your Bane of Havoc, hitting 2 targets. It still doubles the mastery, you know, under that effect. So you get a little bit more DPS out of that. Now, for an example, if we were looking for a cleave type rotation, and there's so many freaking target dummies here that I won't be able to just show you guys outright how the cleave rotation will work, but I can give you a general baseline. So we're going to start with a Cataclysm. It's kind of like the same single target rotation. Then we're going to do Summon Infernal. Then we're going to go with Havoc. Then we're going to use Dark Souls Instability. And we're going to do our regular starter. So here we go. Try to only get 2 in this. Okay. So Havoc has a 30-second cooldown, the same cooldown that Cataclysm has. So what you want to do is make sure you cool enough for Havoc. That way you can have 2 Chaos Bolts going off for it. And using it like this, it will just keep your DPS up on bosses. Like, you'll be doing well over 20k, no problem. Like, it sucks here because it's a 3rd target here. But this is basically what you're roughly looking at right here. And of course, my imp is on passive as well. But I just wanted to show you guys on a cleave fight, it'll kind of look like that without all 3 targets being there, especially on a Jade. You can do a lot with that, because you can kind of skip the phase of the little explosion things from the fire mage by damaging it enough, and Destro, it would offer some nice freaking cleave from that. That'll be all. Thank you for watching this destruction guide. Hopefully you guys learned some things on this. Hopefully this will help you and help your raid progress. And that'll be all. Make sure if you have any questions, let me know in the comment. I'm here to help you guys. If you have a problem, you're having a problem, you don't know what to do, just let me know, and I'll try my best to help you with said problem. Or if you're looking for more information on stats, I can, talk to you personally, tell you what I believe will be the best going to the future until mythic rating and things of that sort. And I'm Smooth Medusa. It's been cool, been fun, been nice. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys later.